Welcome everybody to the Backlash podcast. We are at episode 16 today on this lovely rainy day in Ontario, Canada.
A little gloomy.
But what can you do? We had like hot, warm weather for 2 days and everyone was complaining it was hot after 300 days of winter and everyone's like, what are you complaining about? We finally have warmth. So, hey, here we are. What do we got on the tap today?
Well, like you said, Ontario, Canada. We just played a game and you used the all-one arena.
Right,
twice.
for Ontario, California. Yeah, that's right. We just played a game, New Nexus versus Drew McIntyre. I haven't played the Drew McIntyre deck in a while. I haven't played Raw Deal in probably 2 weeks, so a few rusty mistakes. But
it was funny because all-one arena, when your opponent reverses on his first card, you put it in your ringside pile to continue your turn.
Yeah.
And if they do it again and it's in your ringside pile, you remove from game to continue your turn. And we did it all in the same turn. Like one move right after the other one. It was just a funny little thing. You said Ontario. But Scott, let's move on to what's been going on around the web.
Yeah.
And for all you virtual fans out there, there's been a lot of news since the last episode. It all kind of dropped after we recorded as well. So last time they had confirmed that Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor are in the next virtual set, which is likely dropping August, September, October area. And then he said the sub-theme of this set is NXT Arrival, which was the first kind of pay-per-view equivalent. Mm-hmm. And pretty much every superstar in that set, every superstar on that card will be in the set.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get Mojo Rawley, The Ascension, Emma, Tyler Breeze, Neville, and Bo Dallas. And then everyone that was already in the game but appeared on that card is going to get like a support card. So we're looking at, I don't have that list. Too Cool, Cesaro, just a bunch of those other guys there. And Creed gave us a little exclusive to drop, so 2 more superstars that will appear in that set are Alexa Bliss and Asuka. So that's exciting. Those are 2 good names.
Yeah, 2 current names, 2 really top female stars in WWE right now. So that's super exciting for the Raw Deal community.
Especially when I don't mind the variety of names that were from the Arrival card. Ascension I'm kind of excited for. Not more than kind of excited. Yeah. I like what they have going on. Neville, Tyler Breeze. I enjoyed Emma when she was on TV. Better than Emelina.
Yeah.
But some people were a little down on Mojo Rawley and all these release guys. But it's it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
And it's let's see what kind of abilities they have, and they're current guys.
And for the most part, they are current superstars. Mm-hmm. So
you never know with Mojo. You might have a shared card with Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
And, they could put multiple logos on different cards and give support to current guys. So, a lot of opportunities.
And there's been a lot of talk, just because you don't like the superstar on TV doesn't mean you won't like the superstar in Raw Deal if you really like his ability. Mm-hmm. There's that too. Like Brock Lesnar. I'm not a big fan of him on TV, but in Raw Deal, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Good, cool.
And actually, I was reading I was on the SoCal Raw Deal Facebook group because it's a great way just to look at images for virtual cards, and I was looking at all the past superstar support. And Big Show got a card where it just makes all your opponent's non-unique maneuvers do no more than 5 damage. I was like, I kind of want to play him now because it blanks his ability or it changes his ability to that, so you don't no longer have that maneuver restriction.
Yeah,
where you can only play.
I haven't played Big Show in years. I sold his set, but I remember playing a heat deck because you pitch 2 to continue to play moves. You can discard heat cards and then mid game remove them all and just afterburn and for the win. But it so long ago.
And heat's tough to build usually. The card support's okay. The headstrong, all that action removal kind of sucks. There's a discussion last night, Thursday night, because we're recording this on Friday, about what superstars make non-specific maneuvers into heat. Mm-hmm. So that kind of gives that stuff a boost. So Jinder Mahal's a newest one where he makes Full Nelson Slam and Cobra Clutch, blank text, and heat. So now he gets blank 0 for 8, grapples, and then withdrawing a blank, he changes from hand and ringside, so he's getting that drawing the blank protection for
Nice.
0 for 8
yeah.
damage maneuvers, which is really good. Because the user, I can't remember the name, wanted to do a back by Vicky heat build and make those back by Vicky moves heat.
Yeah.
The only thing that we could really come up with was like the Legend Lives On, Shawn Michaels 0 for 2 reversal. So.
Yeah, and Muhammad Hassan makes unique moves heat. But if you play them from ringside, you have to burn 5, so that's pretty costly to do.
And plus, I think the only SmackDown uniques are the high risks. So, I was working on Sheriff Austin, backed by Vicky. I had all the SmackDown maneuvers sleeved, but then it can't be packed by a legend.
Yeah.
Oh no, it can't be packed if you're packing Enforcers as well. I'm like, de-sleeved it, turn it raw again. I don't have anything more than that. I mean, there's a Lackey tournament going on.
There's like 0-1.
Yeah. Well, it's just timing. It's tough.
That is probably the most difficult part about running the Lackey tournament, running a worldwide tournament, is that I'm sure there's some Singapore and UK players that are on completely different schedules as us, and everyone works, everyone has lives, and it's like lining things up, and that's got to be difficult, but I don't really have a solution. So you just kind of go and give the 2-3 week time period per round, and hopefully something lines up.
With Lackey too, you can just watch games that are being played. So I was
watching.
I want to
get in on that.
That was cool.
Help me hook up Lackey while you're here.
Yeah, let's do it right now, Scott. But no, it was really neat. I was watching 2 players. I don't want to mention names in case they don't want to be mentioned. And then, man, I got in about the last. I missed the first third of the game. And I'm watching it, and I just learned a bunch of stuff. Why are you packing that card, and seeing an interaction? I'm like, holy cow! So
again, right? We have just 6-8 players that come out, so we see what we pack, and our transition into virtual was kind of slow, and then we kind of skipped that virtual 7 set just to go right to the new stuff that was coming out, and then you have the people that don't want to print stuff, or printing is always an issue, right? Getting to the store and arranging it and doing that. But so you skip a few cards, and then you're like, oh, I've never seen this, and I've never seen how it interacts with certain sets. And again, with only 6 to 8 of us, you're only seeing 6 different superstars a month, right?
Yeah.
So in a year, we're only seeing 60, 70 superstars when there's really 300, 400, 500 in the game.
Even with non-superstar specifics, I mean, I'm seeing decks running out of nowhere, 2x2x, and I'm like, what are these cards? Why?
Yeah.
But then you see it in use, and you're like, holy crap!
Late game, it's out of nowhere. It's a great card.
One player had played Flurry of Finishers, the action. Yeah. So he's a stable. He was running Shield, and then played 2 trademarks. One got removed from game and reversed. The other one was reversed. And then next turn, he overturned out of nowhere as a reversal, played it as an action, and just played that trademark that was just removed from the game.
Yeah.
In response to that, which is really cool. So it's makes me think, especially because I'm not the hugest competitive player. If I could choose between fun and competitive, it's fun. But I got to focus on some competitive because we have the Planet FunkCon coming up in just over a month. Yeah. And we've started planning for that. We're looking into hotels, chatting on Discord to see where the best place to stay is. And we're saving our American pennies to pay for our admission because they don't have Canadian pennies anymore. And that's how Brandon wants to get paid, apparently. We're just scrounging them up. 45 pounds of pennies per player. I'm going to roll it in Canadian penny rolls. Yeah, because they're useless, right? I have 5 or 6 upstairs that are just sitting around. And then we had a play testing day. The 4 of us got together and kind of mulled over some decks. And it was pretty funny because Cam built Braun Strowman just so we could see kind of what he does as a deck. And he played a game against you, and you had 1 Fortitude from Revolution of the Mind and sacked Vince into Power Slam when we forgot that his backstage card prevents the
Revo Fortitude counting as your
Oh,
Fortitude.
yeah,
So he's like, "Oh, Braun Strowman sucks," and we're like, "No, he just like made a critical error in the game. Like Braun's really good still."
Had he forgot that card, and had I remembered that card as well, I would have just done the removal effect to it right away.
Yeah, but still, that's a 10-card swing.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, you don't know the full impact of the game, but. Yeah, it was pretty funny. He's like, "Oh, Braun sucks." We're like, "No, play another game." And we did. We played about half a game during the Greatest Royal Rumble event, but we didn't get to finish because I had to leave. But he looked pretty solid. So.
You want to tell the Horsemen Have My Back story?
That's a good one. Yeah, we were playing a deck, Devil's Favorite Demon versus Arn Anderson, and he played the Horsemen Always Have My Back, which makes your opponent spin 2 cards before your draw swing, kind of like Kane, basically. So in my arsenal, I had You Missed Your Chance, Carlito, Don't Be a Douchebag, and Divine Intervention. So I was like, I'm just going to leave that card out there rather than overturn forward remove from the game, because I know I'm going to hit as a reversal once, probably twice, and get 2 turns in a row. So lo and behold, I spin like Divine on the first one, remove it, and I get another turn, and then I spin Carlito, get another turn, and then I spun the last one, Missed Your Chance, and then I was like, okay, now I'll overturn 4 and remove it, and I got 3 turns in a row, and he's like...
Wasn't there an old school wrestling match in play as well?
No. Yes, but that doesn't count, I don't think.
The turn ended.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, whenever his turn, yeah.
Because you're not skipping the turn. The turn ends at the draw segment. Oh, no, because if your turn ends... No, they reworded it. I remember this because it came up in the Discord. Everyone, just go on the Discord channel. It's really good.
It's awesome.
Because the turn ended before the draw segment.
Yeah.
Because they
so
reworded it.
Turn,
So if you use it Showtime, you're not burning that.
Yeah,
8.
yeah, exactly. So, but anyways, I got 3 turns in a row, which I just like smash phase anyways. So he's like, "I'm cutting this card." So
he was really mad.
It's still a good card. I mean, not every deck runs 4 reverse, but I mean the majority run Douchebag and Missed Your Chance, I'm sure, and Divine, right? So there are 3. Most decks still run Carlito.
I ran into that problem when I was playing Trish Stratus, where the deck's built to burn, like afterburn, stratospheres, those kind of effects, and like more times than not, my stratospheres were getting stopped on the overturn because of this excess of overturn, non-damage reversal effects.
Yeah.
So. It's what happens.
Yeah, you just have to know that those are cards in your deck that you probably want to get out of the opponent's deck, whether it's through like marking out the original to search for 3 reversals and remove them, or do something else. But yeah, so I don't know if Arn Anderson's going to keep that card or not. It's good, but it certainly has its drawbacks.
Even they're overturning 4. It's 4 damage.
Yeah.
And then there are ways to manipulate it back.
It's really good. It's still a really good card. We've played that matchup probably a dozen times, so we just like know how to beat each other and up, and so I don't know if it would ever come up in the future, but we'll see. You posted your throwback Thursday, Manager Interferes.
Yeah, that was interesting. Because there's a bit of hate. I know. I've complained. Not publicly, but I mean, you look at these, the virtual prize cards, and the first 2 virtual sets, they kind of threw back existing cards, but they kind of gave it more, it looks like a drawback at first, like increase of fortitude, or gives the player an overturn effect or a discard effect, or in the case of Manager Interferes, it makes your opponent draw, but it's not up to 1,
right?
Where it's a must draw of 1. And I thought that was cool.
And of course the first person commented and used the word always, and he said letting your opponent draw a card is always a bad idea, and as soon as you say the words always or never in Raw Deal, someone's going to come out and say, you know what, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 scenarios where it's actually a really good thing.
And like aside from that, the comments I had seen are positive towards the card, but it's one of those ones where it's like any card in Raw Deal, you're putting it deliberately in your deck for a reason.
Well, in Pat's case, it's because he doesn't own the original managers. Right? Like, he doesn't have all these old cards because he's just gotten in basically right at the end of Raw Deal.
Yeah.
So he just prints off the virtual and he runs a throwback, ready to fights and get the F outs. And I've always told him, I was like, well, you can play it at 4 and shuffle 5 with ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like I really don't care. I'd lend you the cards. It's just easier to use your own cards because then you don't have to get them back after. But he's like, no, I'll just do what the card says. I'm like, okay, we'll go with it. And
But like you brought up Precision Haymaker as an example, where it's like a 4-straw 5.
yeah.
Imagine that late game. Like normally that's like what, an eighth of an opponent's full arsenal.
Yeah.
So like late game, if they have 15 cards, it's like there goes a third chunk of it. Okay,
Yeah.
they stop it. You're gonna find a way to play that Precision Haymaker again next turn.
Exactly, and that's why they came out with the special guest referee because it is so strong late game to force your opponent. It's essentially doing 5 damage that your opponent can't stop.
Like your
without even successfully playing a card.
Yeah. Your Fandango deck just kept tossing.
Yeah, he just play it again, reverse, put it under some array, play it again next turn, reverse, put it under some array.
Where you're like, draw 5.
Yeah.
Draw 5. Draw 5.
And then he has his card that forces your opponent to promo 2 cards and discard 1, so you are essentially doing 2 damage.
You're doing more non-damage than
Yeah,
damage.
yeah, and it's not damage, right? So it's like you're doing these forced things where it's kind of nasty, but yeah. And then like with Journey into Darkness with Kane, when you force your opponent to draw 1 card,
Yeah.
and they have to overturn a card or 2, and like my example is that in our game it was really late game, and I'm like I only had 1 or 2 cards left, and I was like I gotta stack my deck to make sure I can pin him next turn and activate my through all these years on his turn, or so he can't reverse it and stuff like that. And then he's like, man, Drew Pierce, draw a card. And I'm like, oh no, now what do I do? Like I have this card, like this divine in my hand because I was going to spin it for a reversal. And I'm like, crap. So like late game, forcing your opponent to draw 1 card can be the difference between a win and a loss too. So yeah, it's interesting. I always love the feedback that you guys share and the ideas, and again, gives other players ideas and thoughts and concepts that they wouldn't normally run into. So it's neat. We'll keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh, when users said they look forward to the Throwback Thursday every week, and it does like warmed my heart. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
And it's so fun to do because it's just I love hearing, just seeing the whole community as a whole like interact.
Yeah.
Especially like even if they're not virtual players, then you do these virtual throwbacks and they're seeing what it does and they're giving their input as a non-player to that, and then you have your virtual players giving like a counter statement to it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, this is good for these reasons. Because what was a good one? Like Get the F Out and spawned a lot of conversation. The old school wrestling match started a lot of conversation. Yeah.
What else we got on here? We talked about FunkCon and the virtual superstars. Move on to our card compare segment.
I guess so. We have a tournament coming up on May 19th.
Oh yeah.
It's Happy Cane Day.
Happy Cane Day.
So, are you running a cane variation?
I'll probably try and run one, yeah.
I have a cane variation. I'm going to probably run Sheriff Austin using the cane enforcer. Because
that's a good idea. We should arrange that there's a Kane, a BFM, double favorite demon, and then like Eric Bischoff, Sheriff.
BOD.
Yeah,
Brothers of
like
Destruction.
Kane enforcers.
Team Hell No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We can do it. Everyone has to run Kane decks on May 19th.
I'm more concerned about the big freaking machine player because his ability's nasty.
Yeah, and then he gets that May 19th card if his ability.
We should just let everyone be able to
crazy.
pack May 19th. Oh, it's always in play.
Yeah, May 19th. I don't even know what it does.
Well, it gives you 5 fortitude. if you're the big freaking machine and like your maneuver is unsuccessful and under your ability, you put it into play.
Oh, okay.
And there's another thing. Talk a little bit. I'll
It's a
find it.
green card. Like Christmas. Only 2 of them in play. 2 of them in Raw Deal so far, I think, with Teddy Long.
Yeah, it's now a tag team match. Play.
Yeah. Play.
But yeah, Cane Day. Well, he never got a Katie Vick card.
No,
I wonder why.
not yet.
Triple H never got a Katie Vick card. That was a perfect share card
Yeah,
opportunity.
right? Jeez. Just for 2 superstars that could use more card support.
May 19th, it's a storyline. That's why
Yeah.
it's green. So when your maneuver with a reversal restriction from your ability is unsuccessful, or when your 5D plus maneuver is moved from your ring by your opponent and you have a lower fortitude, you may put this card from your backlash or ring side into your ring and draw up to 2 cards. Your maneuvers are minus number fortitude, where numbers equal to your opponent's fortitude rating. So that's all the time.
That's really good.
Your boot to the face, Kane's chokeslam, and see no evil cannot be reversed. And when you have lower fortitude, ignore the by Kane text. So by Kane would be on the see no evil, which does, where's see no evil? When successfully played by Kane, he also discards one card for every specific card in your ring as an action. So he overturns a card for every specific, and then he would also discard a card for every specific.
Yeah.
At 10.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And can you just play a storyline, or does it have to go into play?
You could play it as it would be a non-maneuver card.
Okay.
Because it's not an action.
At 19 fortitude. Right?
Yep. Because there's nothing about it can't be played. It's RMS, permanent, unique. So, I mean, anything that hits unique cards, non-maneuver cards. Like that. Actually, no, the throwback volley, this doesn't hit it because it's a superstar specific.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. But it's only for big freaking machine.
Yeah. That's true. Neat.
A fun little theme, it's just the timing worked out.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I gotta make this Sheriff
May
Austin
19.
deck work.
Yeah. How many days do we have for that? 2 weeks.
Lots of time.
Yeah. Try to make something work. Pull up an old deck list or something.
Yeah, I love playing Kane in Classic because Hell in a Cell, Journey into Darkness, No Way Out. It's just I'm gonna keep playing your cards. I'm gonna turtle and sponge, and then it's just you're gonna die.
Yeah, slowly. Slowly.
We did a tornado tag event where I just paired them up with Extreme Diva.
Yeah,
it's pretty much just the same deck.
Yeah, with like extra burn.
And then in virtual, he has got a Through the Fire and the Flames, which makes your superstar specific actions plus your opponent's reversals plus 8 fortitude if you don't already have it. So you're kind of getting that Journey into Darkness into play anyways. Yeah. It's just more of this, more of the same.
Yeah, that's.
Let's move on to the cards of the show, Scott.
Alrighty. So you thought we'd kind of switch to a theme for this episode and cover all the blindside cards and just go over the pros and cons of each one and.
Well, card comparison is always, 2 or more cards with similar effects. We just compare them and see what uses. So the idea with this one is maneuvers played from ringside. You can also play them from ring.
Yeah.
And then all the blind sides have an opportunity. Oh yeah, I love a maneuver all the time. You can play from ring. Nydia.
Yeah.
So blind sides can all be played from ringside, and there's a variety of 0 fortitude cards, kind of that mid-range, and big ones. So you love blind sides. You played blind sides a lot in Macho Man.
Yeah, I played them in Macho Man. I played the blindside drop toe hold, the 4 for 10. Played a playset of those in Charlotte. The classic blindsides like blindside choke, blindside kick, blindside slam. They're almost always in a deck. I have a few of them in Wyatt's because you can remove a bunch of cards by choice and power up the lantern.
Do you remember when those ones first came out?
Yes, and they went to hand, and like Victoria pops to mind.
Yeah, that was when I saw those immediately. I was like, okay, Victoria, where blindside choke, blindside slam, blindside kick, they all had an effect where it's like remove all actions in your rings of power from the game, put this one into your hand. Remove all reversals, put this one into your hand. So with Victoria, she shuffled her hand into her arsenal and redrew her hand. So you can't prove that they're in your hand still. So that was really good. I think choke. Which one? I can't remember. Which one removes the action? Slam.
Slam. Yeah.
Which was I think that's one of my favorite ones. Just especially in virtual now because you're not running a whole lot of actions. Worst, you're removing your volley this and some key superstar specifics. Like the 6 for 8 is really good. I mean that 6 fortitude's kind of that sweet spot, and you're getting out of that elbow range.
I remember you ran that in Rusev. Because it's like your 5 Diagrana maneuvers are minus, and it's just like first turn you could play it. And you're like, hey, look, blindside chokes.
You want to cover the 0 fortitude ones here?
Sure. Blindside Beal Toss. I've actually never run. When played from your ringside, your opponent looks at your Backlash deck, chooses a non-unique card, and you discard the chosen card. So that's a pretty big drawback. If you're playing from ringside, they can rip your cow, they can rip your Fortitude Surge. So that's, you can rip your Unscrupulous, King Interferes, Outside Interference.
Yeah.
Any Ready to Fights. So that's a big drawback. I've never played the card, so
I've played it a lot.
Yeah.
In Edge and Christian.
Yes, in Edge and Christian. There you go. Again, just because a card looks terrible doesn't mean it's always terrible, right? So with Edge and Christian, they choose your non-unique card, you draw cards.
Also with that too, you can kind of work around it. I mean, 0 for 4 isn't huge. I think it'd be a little better if they flip the damage with this 6 Fortitude, 6 damage one.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could just run 2 Cow on Ice, you could just run 2 King Interferes, 2 Unscrupulous, and really throw them a curveball.
If that's how you want to rely on getting your Fortitude, there's just so many easier ways now in Classic to get 4 Fortitude that I don't know that it would be run much. And Blindside Hooks, fan favorite, 0 for 6. When successfully played, your opponent draws 1 card. You play this card from your ringside pile. When played from your ringside pile, remove 1 card in your hand from the game. So a much smaller cost. Remove a card of your choice from your hand from the game to play from ringside. It's an 0 for 6. You can easily bump it up with Hardcore Title or something to make it do 8 damage. So.
Oh, and it's a forced draw.
Yes, for your opponent.
So, I mean, even, like, say that late game, you just keep tossing that. Is it when successfully played or when played?
Yeah, when successfully played, your opponent draws 1.
So imagine if that was a when played effect, though.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, keep drawing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I ran these in Macho Man. They're great. They're good. They're good from ringside. Again, with such a small drawback, I like it. These are the only 2-0 Fortitudes.
I think so. I quickly grabbed what I had at home before I left. Then there's Blindside Elbow Drop. I like it a lot. It's a good high risk. It's a 1 Fortitude, 5 damage high risk with 1 stun. It can be played after a successfully played maneuver or specific card. You can play it from your ringside. When played from your ringside, it's +3 damage, but you also discard 2 cards. I'd also play this a lot in Edge and Christian.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I play it in Randy Orton. I have 3 of them in Drew McIntyre because they're 1 Fortitude, so they hit off the ability.
Well, especially with Drew McIntyre, he has that 1 for 1 mid-match action. And you can immediately toss this as a 1 for 8.
That's what I meant to do in our game. That's why I played it. Yeah, then I forgot. Yeah. Anyways, I haven't played Drew McIntyre in quite some time.
But a discard too, early game, I don't think it's as big of an impact to your hand as it was in Classic.
Right.
Because a lot of hands these days are pretty meaty unless you're deliberately doing it, like Drew McIntyre, for instance.
And there will be sometimes when you draw into your Divine Intervention and you're like, I really don't want this in my hand, so I can pitch it, play that, and then on your next turn, your opponent plays an action, you just put it on the bottom.
The thing is, even from hand, it's a 1 for 5 high risk. Like, unless they have elbows, I don't think it's really going to get touched during the game.
And even if they elbow it, then it's in your ringside, and you can play it from ringside next turn.
It works really well with the throwback Dirty Low Blow, because chances are that's not getting reversed. And then you play this, you're at 7 Fortitude, and I have ideas for the Nexus now.
Ideas.
Drop to a hold you're a fan of?
Yeah,
so
I'm a huge fan of the Fortitude curve. It's a 4 for 10. You just need 4 Fortitude, and you can bump yourself all the way up to 14. When played from ringside, your opponent may put 1 pre-match or mid-match card that does not have the word Blindside in the title from your ring area into your ringside pile. So it is a little bit pricey to play from ringside pile, but if it's plunged and they don't have Fortitude Surge or something, or it can't be reversed, and you're getting that 10 Fortitude at the cost of potentially a pre-match card that you don't really care about after you are sitting at 14 or 16 Fortitude. It's not that big of a price. It's removing a card that's already in play, so it may be like a mid-match card that may actually help you, right? Like if you played a sustain early game and you're like, okay, it's later game, I don't really need it anymore, or another card that's Sustain's probably a bad idea because you want that late game.
Yeah.
But something that had an early game effect that's not as good later game, and it frees up a mid-match slot for you. So if your opponent chooses it, so it's not always a drawback. I think the drawback is that your opponent gets to choose it, choose the effect.
Well, with it being removed from the game as well, you could have an "I'm going to break you" in play, and it's kind of if they choose another card, you just remove the "I'm going to break you" in response to it.
That's true.
A lot of key virtual cards, and I mean it doesn't hit superstar specifics, but a lot of key cards are permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of your stipulations.
That's true,
Sure, you're going to lose title belts, but unless if you really want it in play and you're working around keeping that, sure. Like the hardcore title belt makes that a 2 for 11 maneuver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, after a dirty little blow, you have the fortitude. For that. Like that's huge. To be at 2 and then you can be hucking these 11 damage maneuvers. You have to be fan favorite.
Yeah, that's I think that's smart. I mean, looking at it now, because if it was either cheater or neutral, I'd be like a more packed card. Like you'd see that being played a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Like the swing on that, even from hand, a 4 for 10 grapple.
Yeah, that's where it's best from hand. Like, but it's there.
My favorite one, although I said choke was pretty good, and blindside slam is blindside tornado strike.
Yeah, we discussed that on our episode 10.
Yeah, it's a strike that is 6 fortitude, 10 damage. You can play it from ringside. When played from ringside, remove all reversal cards in your ring area from the game. This is great for clearing up mid-match slots. Cow on ice, reach exceed your grasp, a scrupulous SOB.
Which can clear itself, remember.
And it can't be reversed, sure, but I mean, the sneaky tactics.
Yeah, for sure. And like, if you have Hard Being Original or limiting cards where you have them in play, or even to cycle stuff, like if you have a Revolution of the Mind that you want to get back, you can play that, remove from the game, and then shuffle it in with a 10th anniversary. Like, there's so many.
And with the remove from game, I mean, it works with a lot of superstars, like a lot of the Wyatt-based Wyatt-based superstars benefit from it. I know, like Miz and Morrison can swap cards that are removed from game. You know, various superstars. But I love it for just clearing up mid-match.
Yeah.
You know, just that cow that's in there. And
Yeah,
you're like,
the road to victory that you're like, oh, I don't need it. It's done its course.
Or you can even sneak, like, pack 2 yours, graceful as a cow on ice, clear the one, and then you surprise him with the second one. It's drawn back on me where you're removing your fortitude, so like elbows volley this, Revolution of the Minds, even specific reversals that have an ongoing effect. Like Drew McIntyre has the one specific reversal with the 3-man band, so it's not exactly something you want to be tossing.
I think 3-man band's permanent.
Well, that's the thing with virtual too, where a lot of cards are generate a permanent effect. And there's can you believe the witty retort, where as an action, just name a card in your ring and it's permanent.
Yeah, so you can get around that.
6 for 10's a really good, cost to damage ratio. And if they reverse your blindside tornado strike the first time from ringside, you're not worried about playing it over and over, because you've already paid that initial cost. Where like a blindside drop toe hold has an ongoing, where you play it each time, you're going to keep losing something each time.
That's true.
The blindside sleeper, you're a fan favorite.
Again, not a card that I've played much of. When played from ringside, your opponent may remove a non-superstar specific non-maneuver card from your ring area from the game, so you can pluck out actions or reversals that have a effect going on. Or pre-match or mid-match as well, because they're non-maneuver cards. So 5 for 9, again, pretty decent fortitude curve. I think I ran a few of them in Macho Man just because they're alright, but yeah, not much to comment on. I haven't run it that much. It's probably good in a sleeper deck like Roddy Piper. Or sleeper match of the year, when you're running all the sleepers.
Yeah, and like I think I'd rather be playing the drop toe hold over this.
Yeah. For
sure. Because I mean that's only hitting a Backlash deck card for in-ring, where this is anything.
And again, once you kind of like choose your blind side of choice or whatever, as you said, once you've paid that cost or keeping it the same cost, like that there's only so many targets your opponent can choose. Whereas if you start throwing the drop toe holds and your opponent has removed all your mid-match and pre-match, and then you throw a sleeper, they can still pick another reversal or action in your ring area, so you're giving them another choice to remove, which may not be beneficial. One of the things we haven't really talked about is like the text of the cards. Like drop toe hold has toe in the title.
Oh.
So in like Fandango, they're -2 fortitude. Summer Rae, they're -2 fortitude because they have knee leg toe. Or is that the? I think Fandango's knee leg spin. I don't know. So rusty. So rusty. I have a 6-week-old. I'm so tired all the time. But yeah, cards like that trigger off like the sleeper for sleeper match of the year. Blindside kick goes great with Page, Tajiri, RBD, educated feet decks, things like that. So just blindside slam in the title.
Yeah, so like any of the, like the Kevin Nash variations get a reduced cost.
X-Pac.
A-Train, X-Pac now, yeah. A lot of that too. And then, and then I love, like, now that we've said it once, it's like, you're paying that, first time you pay that cost, chances are you're not going to get hurt if you have to keep paying that cost. We'll visit this one afterwards, but the blindside choke, you remove all of your maneuvers from the game. When in ringside pile from the game, blindside slam, you remove all of your actions in your ringside pile from the game, and the kick, you remove all reversals in your ringside pile from the game. I think kick is the worst of them. This one was a must play for the longest time, just because in Classic, this release, the submissions, weren't the greatest.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of submission reversals either, right? At least not pain reversals. Like, there wasn't the Spinebuster throwback, so you had, like...
I've been hit by an Indian Deathlock after Vince interferes, which hurts.
That was really the only option, and it was like, it's not really playable as a maneuver, Indian Deathlock, so it's like, okay. Most people didn't decide to run it, because it's
like, why?
Yeah. Why bother?
I mean, those are the first three that originated it, and...
I like that with like 5th year and 10th year, you can kind of clean up your ringside pile a bit if you're going to decide to start throwing those. You can be like, oh, I'm going to throw a blindside choke, so I'll 5th year and like shuffle in the 5 good maneuvers that I really want to keep in my arsenal, or the 5 reversals that I want to keep or something, so you can tidy up that. Except my problem is whenever I spend a 5th year, I'm like, oh, those are 5 cards that I really want in my arsenal. So I shuffle them back in. I'm like, great.
I have one superstar on my mind. Okay. So John Morrison is great for these old blindsides, because when cards in your arsenal ring or ringside will be removed from the game from cards played, you could choose half of those rounded down and put them on the bottom of your arsenal instead.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Late game, you can just put 10 cards on the bottom for no reason. It's like, hey. Especially this last one.
Oh, wow.
We thought we're like, wow, this is a crappy card. It's got to be good with someone, though.
So blindside abdominal stretch is 18 for 12. I mean, abdominal stretch works with John Morrison because he's got the bedazzled.
Yeah. 6-pack.
When played from your ringside, remove all cards in your ringside pile that do not have the word blindside in the title from the game. Imagine that with him. Oh, God, I don't want to build John Morrison now.
Ringside pile now.
Well, it's put on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's like you're manipulating the order. So imagine that late game. It's like, okay, here's 20 cards under my arsenal. It's better than a WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but this one here, it's 18 fortitude, 12 damage. It's a submission, so I mean at the time, it was better. But
to remove your whole ringside pile from the game, like.
And it's like your opponent's going to have a king interferes, sitting there. Usually.
Yeah.
Does Scotty Worm hit blindsides?
No.
So that's good. Well, revolutions. These aren't multis, so that once is enough. Isn't sneaking
none of them have reversal restrictions, so they're not getting hit by a Carlito or a douchebag, so that's nice. But
I'm just looking up the text for the only existing virtual one that I could think of. What is it called, Scott?
I don't know.
I know
Dolph Ziggler's on the picture. It's a cheater. It's a multi-grapple. Then when you search your arsenal, you put it into your ringside pile. When it's in your ringside pile, your non-chain cheater cards
Or minus
are
3
minus 3 fortitude. Outside of that.
I mean, that's why you run that one.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, when you search Arsenal, most search right at the beginning of the game, before first turn, so it's right there for thrust kicks, I think is the big one that people like reducing in our area.
I love thrust kick. So it's blindside takedowns, 15 fortitude, 10 damage. Chest can't pack it, for obvious reasons. When you search your arsenal for any reason, you may reveal this card from your arsenal, put it into your ringside. You can play this card from ringside. When played from ringside, your opponent may remove one non-unique, non-maneuver, non-backlash card in your ring from the game.
So it's a little less pricier than the blindside sleeper. It can't hit uniques.
When it's in your ringside, like you had already said, your non-chain cheater cards are minus 3 fortitude, and you cannot move this card from your ringside to any other location. That's a big one too.
Yeah, that
he's not removing it. I think of the rattlesnake. This was a really key card in him because he gets the non-unique cheater card that your opponent discards cards equal to the specifics in your ring.
Gross. Yeah.
And he can search for it off of his backstage area virtual card, and then so he's just plucking this into his ringside pile, and he's playing these actions that are making you discard everything.
Yeah, I remember that. That was nasty.
I think depending on how your cheater build is, you're going to want to run it. Shoot forearm, it reduces the cost to it becomes a 3 for 9. So you could play it if you want to do some more maneuver manipulating, or even in a bash deck. You're playing this. You're playing that turn 1 almost.
Yeah.
Depending on it, yeah, you could play it turn 1 because you have the 3 fortitude and it's minus 3.
Yeah.
You're getting that reach exceeds your grasp out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just playing it again next turn, because that stays in your ringside pile and you still have 3 fortitude.
This also reduces the costs on the cheater reversals. In virtual, there's the 10 fortitude one that reverses a non-maneuver. And there's another one that I can't think of.
Shocking interference, but I'm pretty sure that's RMS.
Oh.
But yeah, didn't think of that. Cheater reversals. Most of the ones in Classic, I think there's only one that's 0 fortitude.
Oh, with Triple H on it that I've never seen
Triple H or
played.
Gene Snitsky. Oh yeah, Triple H. Which is good. I think it reverses blindsides. I think it tags everything that Scotty Worm doesn't tag.
I'd rather run Scotty Worms.
Well, if you're bash, yeah. We're sending like non-unique action. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Blindside. Actually, this conversation's giving me some different ideas.
Same with me. I was like, ooh, I can put it in
Like this blindside drop to a hole. I mean, after like we played New Nexus and with old school wrestling matches, like I'm running out of hand because of Drew McIntyre. They're like, no. I don't have maneuvers to play. Well, my pre-match, everything essential is permanent.
Yeah.
And my anything else is key in ring. Like those, like even mid-match, like down the mid-match were expendable. So like this is, I might be changing them to a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
This is good. This was a fun card comparison.
Yeah, let us know in the comments section.
Yeah, like what are some really good ways you've used the blindside maneuvers? We're not going to cover the reversals because that's just...
Yeah, or the actions.
Yeah, although the Dangerous Divas recovers cards removed from the game.
Yes, yeah, it's really good.
So, I'm going to look it up just because I think with a lot of this from the game removal...
Yeah, blindsided by the Dangerous Divas. It's a 4 fortitude. Can only be played if you have a blindside maneuver in your ring area.
I really wish Lackey was available on phones.
Yeah.
Or even like a raw deal searching database.
Yeah.
There might be one in June coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
This can only be played when you have at least 2 cards in your ring area with the word blindside in the title. So you can have that blindside precision pre-match card.
Yeah.
Because this does not remove it. Yeah. So if you have this and that pre-match card in the play, you get availability. This is fan favorite as well. Yeah. It's a run-in, so you're going to have some superstars that are going to kind of prevent those run-ins from being played. Plus the legends, the Virtual 5 legends, like the Premier remakes, they can't pack run-ins.
Yeah.
You remove the top 5 cards of your arsenal from the game, and then shuffle up to 10 of your cards that have been removed from the game into your arsenal. So that with Blindside Tornado Strike,
Or any of the blindside moves. Like
Yeah.
the choke, kick, and the slam to recover cards.
You can play it from ringside, and when it's played from ringside, you discard one card. 4 fortitude. No DQ matches giving you that at 1.
Oh, jeez.
So
I mean, you need the 2 blindside cards anyways, so you probably don't really even care about no DQ match, but...
You go no DQ match with the blindside precision, and according to the contract table.
NCM Punk GRA.
Yeah, there you go.
0 fortitude, I can overturn 5 and... Shuffle 10.
But there's some decks, like a lot of if you're not running the old school cage match that prevents removal from like thrust knee lifts.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
if remove from game card, pile can get pretty big. Yeah. It's a late game card anyways. I wouldn't worry about getting it to 0
I don't know.
First turn there, I'm no cards turn from game. We're gonna...
I just want excuses to run according to
And
the contract table.
so with numbers game you have to pitch a card too, right? Which is pretty popular in our area.
So you're discarding 2.
Teams and stables and...
The New World Order Allegiance makes all run-ins -3 fortitude. So you don't have to no DQ match.
That's another thing that we haven't really seen in our areas. NWO Allegiance. I think FBI did that once, but...
I was helping one of our players. We were coming up with ideas for 3-man band because all of their reversals with interfere are run-ins.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, you do the NWO Allegiance, you go no DQ match to make them -6, and there was something else that we were factoring in to make them another -3. So you had 1-for-1 manager interfere. Is no DQ match active? There was something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
We were giggling. We were
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. We have a manager to your first multi-maneuver.
We were just going to print the face card in black and white and just use the black and white printer.
That's awesome idea for NWO. Print all your virtual cards in black and white. I'm doing that. Seriously, that's awesome. That's such a cool... Now is it them or Wolfpack that has a weird, like, backstage area restriction? Like, if you have 20 cards in your backstage area, you lose the game?
That is the
Wolfpack?
NWO Wolfpack.
Okay, and the reason I haven't run NWO Classic is because, like, you can run Hulk Hogan cards, Big Show cards, I think a Scott Steiner card. I don't have any of those, so that's why I haven't...
Well, plus their ability is all based around all together now. Like, they can play the NWO cards.
You can, you don't have to.
Like, I mean, if you're going to be able to, why don't you do it?
Because you don't have to. Altogether is really limiting.
I think we talked about it a little bit the last show, too, with...
Altogether now in You'll Witness History.
Yeah.
Yeah, You'll Witness History, that's what we talked about, but I don't...
Okay, do you want me to say Wolfpack or Hollywood first?
Hollywood.
Okay. So, NWO Hollywood is a 5 hand size 6 value. During any player's turn, when you successfully play an NWO or Superstar specific card, you draw a card.
Alright.
When packing all together now, you can also pack NWO cards managed by Bischoff. You can pack 4 life, NWO Black and White, which are the Hall and Nash actions.
Okay, I actually own those too.
The NWO World Title Belt, which is the Hulk Hogan
don't have
pre-match.
that. Oh, it's a virtual card, right?
Yes, virtual
so
1.
I can get that.
Showstopper Chokeslam, which was a big
that.
show starter card.
18 for 12. Actually, I might have one of those.
Uncle Eric's Karate Kick, the 5 for 5.
Yeah.
No Cell Maneuver.
Okay.
And Hollywood Hulk Hogan Maneuvers.
So yeah, Hulk maneuvers are what I'm missing.
So like the 0 for 6 multi, the 5 for 10 from like Royal Rumble was a lot of them. That Royal Rumble booster set.
I might have them in row. Okay, I'll look at them.
And you're also a tag team, so you get like classic teamwork.
And a stable.
Yes, they are stable.
Excellent.
Also with Altogether now, they have strength in numbers at backstage. When Altogether now is in your ring, your heat cards are not removed from the game when you move a card from your ring side.
Your heat?
Your heat cards are not removed from the game when you move a card from ringside, which is Heat's drawback. So
that's
you
like Snitsky, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except with better card support.
Yeah, with better card support.
Your multi-NWO cards are Chain and Volley 4, and your Superstar-specific maneuvers are NWO. And your opponent's the numbers game is blank.
So you're always getting handicapped.
So, but I mean, they get the NWO Allegiance. they get the who's here survey says who's here to see the NWO, which I can't remember what it does. You get managed by Eric Bischoff. The throwback, which is +2 hand, -1 to them.
Mm-hmm. With like, oh, but you don't get a handicap match, right?
You don't get a handicap match, but they don't get a handicap match.
Yeah, but you get all together, so it's all free anyways.
Mm-hmm. The world title belt is +2 hand size, so you're +4 hand size with managed by Eric Bischoff. So you're a 9 at that point, and you're searching for 2.
Yeah.
At 3 value. Yeah, like they're. I looked at them for a little bit, but I found they're a little. I thought they were limiting from the altogether now.
Yeah.
But they don't have the heat removal, which I missed the first time. I'm pointing out the NWO members as a backstage card. Their break you is blank. When you play a printed NWO run-in, you may overturn 2, discard 2. The played card is now heel until the end of turn. Can only be played. Can be played as if it's not a run-in for his effects and ignore the can only be played text. So. I mean, that's the virtual 1 NWO run-ins, which it's okay. But they have a card that reduces the number. Discard and overturn is reduced by 1 off hostile takeover. Neat, but blindsides are no good. Actually, you could blindside because your heats aren't removed from the game.
Yeah, you don't remove your heats. Yeah.
And then I have to do a little Control F on my phone here.
I've never built a WCW superstar outside of Lone Warrior. I built when we were going to play NXT format, but then we never played NXT format. So yeah, I don't think I've ever built a WCW superstar.
Jeff Jarrett appeals to me because whenever you would draw, including your draw segment, you can instead make your opponent overturn and discard a card.
Yeah.
So that late game, so you don't draw yourself out, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Wolfpack is a 7/6. When your turn ends and you did not play a maneuver, put the top 2 cards of your arsenal into your backstage area. When you have 20 plus cards in your backstage area, you lose via pinball.
See, that counts all the backstage shenanigans cards. But I think they have a card in like the newest set that ignores the shenanigans.
Yeah, your backstage. Yeah, Macho Man joins the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Your shenanigans don't count.
Yeah. Okay.
When you play a reversal card and your opponent has 20 plus cards in his arsenal, he overturns 3. When you play a reversal card,
that's nasty.
Sustained, oversells.
Yeah, you're like, no, still take your 3.
You can pack Hall and Nash arsenal cards except for the Fallaway Slam and 2 Sweet in the pre-match.
I just want to do the black and white NWO. I love that idea. Print out, and you got some classic cards that I can print in black and white too. Sloppies and once is enough.
I mean, Wolfpack gets 3 pre-match cards, 2 mid-match cards, plus all the NWO support. NWO has a non-specific mid-match reversal. It's good. The Allegiance is good because all your run-ins are -3. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that includes, like, all those Diva title actions, like Candace Internet Icon, 7 Fortitude, Recur 12.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's episode 16. Give us a like on the Twitter. We joined Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying that out.
Whatever, just getting Raw Deal. Like, if you can put Raw Deal everywhere, when someone searches Raw Deal, like, we'll pop up. That's kind of the idea. And that
I want to just bring all the communities together.
Exactly, and then we'll lead people to Lackey and TCO and all connect and unite the different Facebook groups. And it's exciting.
See Avengers Infinity War?
I have not.
Oh.
I saw Raw. Did you watch Raw?
No.
Since the brand split, wrestling has been very entertaining. I'll give them that much.
SmackDown just... I hope Shinsuke has like a dirty low blow or something in virtual.
Yes, in virtual, yeah. It's a little late, but...
No, I want it to happen.
Yeah.
SmackDown's like the must-watch show. The Iconics are great.
Yeah. Raw was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like, it was interesting because they were in Montreal this week. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were huge over. And then they tagged with Jinder Mahal to face Braun, Roman Reigns, and Bobby Lashley. And Braun is super over. So it was just like the crowd was just hot for the whole 20-minute match. And it was crazy. And then the main event was Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, who was super odd. Again, 2 faces in the main event for a title match. It was like, okay.
Well, that's like kind of your main belt on the show too.
It
is the
really
Intercontinental.
is, yeah. And Seth pointed that out. So.
And it's crazy to think like your top 4 guys on Raw are Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Balor, and Seth Rollins.
But then you have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley. Like, they are all, well, Kevin Owens is heavyweight champ for almost a year. Like,
but he's not going to see that belt again anytime soon. Like,
yeah.
if you're...
Especially when you have Brock with the main title. Like, it just limits who can kind of move. But I'm like, they finally hit that plateau where, like, mid-card matches, like, are awesome. Equally awesome as a main event.
But look at your main eventers on Smack. Like, Bobby Roode's on Raw, who's going to be kind of a nothing. You have Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, which are going to be...
They'll be tag team, though, which is good.
Drew McIntyre shouldn't be a tag team, though. He's
But again,
main
we
event
just said there's, like, the Raw main title picture. It's, like, 6 or 8 guys.
I think we're SmackDown. You have AJ, Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, Miz. Miz is going to be able to stand out on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Bryan. It's like...
Big Cass.
But imagine being a Baron Corbin going from SmackDown, where he was, like, one of the top guys, to Raw, where it's like...
He wasn't a top guy.
Well, but I mean, maybe
not.
not.
His cash in.
But on SmackDown, he was a main player on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, he's not. He may not be like that caliber of what you'd expect from a top guy, but it's like he stood out. Jinder Mahal stood out more on SmackDown. Or now it's like they're on Raw. It's like you give them 2 months and see where everyone factors
we'll see where he
in.
is. Yeah, they've still put him into that 6-man tag match. He didn't take the pinfall, which I was like, Jinder's taking the pinfall. Like, the crowd's hot for everyone else, and it wasn't him. So I'm like,
Who took the pinfall?
Kevin Owens in his hometown. Spoiler alert.
Well, Kevin Owens is a half an hour
But he was pinned by
away.
Braun, so it's like, crowd was still happy.
It doesn't
Braun
hurt
won, right?
anybody.
It's like, yeah. So, yeah.
If Roman Reigns made the pinfall on Sami Zayn.
That would be bad. Alrighty, so that'll wrap her up for episode 16. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
Discord.
yeah, we're there. Have a good one.
Bye. I'm gonna